going into week 2, I'm going to be focusing on a digital declutter, so that's what we're going to be doing this week. And I think after that I'm done with the cleaning. So, yay! Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Mackenzie's New Year's Restart series. Today is January 31st, and you know what that means. That's right, I procrastinated the shit out of this for the last 3 weeks, and now I'm rushing to get it done at the very last minute. As you can guess, I'm doing pretty amazing at my New Year's resolution of procrastinating less. We often think to declutter and reorganize and deep clean our physical spaces, but we don't always think to do the same to our digital spaces. Just like with my physical space, over the last few months I've neglected my digital space as well, and so I have quite a bit of work to do today. I'll be decluttering and reorganizing my laptop, my 2 hard drives, my phone, my Nintendo Switch, and tackling the electronics drawer again, but I'll explain more on that when I get to it. I'll be starting with my laptop and my 2 hard drives for today because that's easily the biggest job out of all of them. I've had this baby for over 10 years, 12 years to be exact. I got this laptop for my birthday when I was 14, specifically to use for school as I was entering high school that year, and my parents definitely got their money's worth because they were hoping it would at least last the 4 years of high school, and it's lasted 3 times that length. This laptop has been pulled from the brink of death like 3 or 4 times since I got it. And there's been more than one time that I've thought that this was really the end, she wasn't gonna make it, and then we miraculously brought her back, and I don't take that for granted. I have had some wonky sort of glitchy issues as of late, but I haven't had anything where she shuts off and I can't access anything for weeks at a time in quite a while. Knock on wood. When I say that I'm proud of her, I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. Genuinely, I'm so proud of this piece of technology, and I actually verbally tell her that all the time, as stupid as that sounds. I'll literally be like, I'm so proud of you, you're doing such a good job, when she's exporting a video, because it's I feel like if I compliment her enough, she won't die on me while I'm exporting that video. I started by decluttering my editing hard drive. Now that I've finished the Vlogmas Week 3 video as of yesterday evening, I can go through the raw footage and start sorting it. There's bits here that I'd like to keep, whether for future videos or for personal reasons, so I'm going to be setting those aside into an individual folder. Once I've done that, I then sort them from there into their individual project folders, or to go on to the other hard drive that I have that's for family photos, pictures, videos, documents, all that kind of stuff that's important and I want to keep indefinitely. So once those videos that I plan to keep have been sorted into wherever it is that they're going, I then delete the rest of the footage. Deleting digital stuff is just as hard for me as getting rid of physical things, which I've talked about before. So this process of deleting so much footage is very new for me. I used to keep everything. Absolutely everything I filmed, I kept it. For example, my journaling videos, I still have all of the raw footage of me doing those journals, and there's no point in keeping it. So as of this year, when my last hard drive kind of conked out and my computer couldn't access it anymore, I realized the importance of not just deleting things I don't need, but being more mindful about what it is that I'm keeping. I'm trying to get better at not keeping the unnecessary stuff and clogging up my hard drives with all this footage that I'm never gonna watch, never gonna look at again. Now that my editing hard drive has more space, I'm going to head back over to my computer, to my pictures folder, and start sorting through the pictures that I transferred from my phone to my laptop last night. This took 4 hours. It's crazy how long this process takes. Again, my laptop is old, but a lot of this footage is stuff that I filmed over the last 4 weeks, since the beginning of January, so it was time to transfer it over. After deleting the memes and screenshots and other things that I do not need to keep, I then sorted the remaining video footage into individual project folders and then transferred them over to my editing hard drive, where they will stay until I can edit them into whatever it is they're going to become. So that should go into January vlogs and chats then. Oh, fuck. Cancel then. Cancel that. Once I've copied them over and I make sure that everything is definitely there, I can then delete the things from my computer itself. After this, I went through my videos, pictures, documents, and music folders to make sure there wasn't anything that needed to be deleted, backed up, or otherwise reorganized. And because I do this process, like a big declutter of my computer yearly, and then I also do like mini versions of it monthly, there really isn't all that much to actually go through. Once my laptop and my hard drives were done, I then moved on to my browser, where I just cleaned up my bookmarks real quick. I also ran a virus scan and did a few other small health checks just to make sure my computer's running okay. Server storage capacity. It's funny that it says no issues with battery life, because I have to constantly have my computer plugged in or it shuts off. I don't have a battery, like my battery is shot, so I don't know why it says that. That's hilarious. Later in the evening, I finally got around to sorting through my green screen overlays. I've been editing a lot with the overlays and the doodles and stuff in my videos for Vlogmas, and so I've really accumulated a lot of these videos. I kept meaning to go through them and actually like pick out the individual overlays and doodles and specific graphics that I really like and enjoy using. But I've been putting it off because I've been so busy just editing, and it just wasn't something I got around to. So I finally did that this evening and got that sorted out. I then organized all of those into neat little folders and have it all like, so everything's easily accessible. I can find everything. I know which ones are in which folders. And so not only has this saved me a little bit of space because I got rid of all of the extra ones that I didn't need, but also it's going to make editing a lot smoother for me. I would say this was a pretty productive clean overall. Just like with my room declutter, I'm going to be doing a little bit every day to try to get this done. So tomorrow will be my phone, and then the next day will be the tail end, the Switch and the electronics. Alrighty, so today we're going to be tackling my cell phone. Now, as you've probably noticed if you've watched other videos of mine, I have two cell phones. So basically this one is not really in use. I can't make calls, I can't text, I can't do anything on this one. I used the iPhone 7 for 3.5 years until I couldn't use it anymore. My computer couldn't connect to it. I couldn't transfer footage from my phone to my computer anymore, so this wasn't really even good for filming anything. I didn't have enough storage space on it to even film anything anyway, and it was glitching on me a lot, and it just got to the point where it was time to change it out. So I ended up changing it out with my current phone, and now I use this one for reference images. I have a lot of like study apps and stuff on it and such. I can now film myself making art and studying. I couldn't both film and have a reference image at the same time that was on my phone, so this, made it easier. That said, I am going to be cleaning that afterwards, but I'll get to that later. So we're going to be starting with my cell phone, my main phone. It just sounds so weird to use. I'm going to be going through my photos and videos because that takes up the majority of the space on my phone. I'm going to be going through my photos and videos mostly individually, sliding through each one and deciding whether I'm keeping it, because if I run into something that's in an album because I'm using it for a project, I don't want to accidentally delete those. So I'm going to go through individually so that if I try to delete something and it tells me that they're in an album somewhere, then I'll know that I can't delete that one just yet. I'm going to probably be deleting a lot of screenshots, a lot of memes, and a lot of like when I take photos of something like 50 times and then I select one of them for social media or one of them to draw or something, I'm gonna probably be deleting a lot of duplicates or a lot of unneeded extra pictures. As for videos, the only videos I have on my phone right now are ones that are very important to me, the ones of Shorty from a few days before she passed, One of them is from the day before she passed, and I'm not ready to get rid of those just yet, nor am I ready to get rid of any of the photos of her, so I probably won't be doing that, but I am hoping to get quite a bit of my photos done. I normally don't have that many pictures on my phone. I try to keep it less than like 500 at a time, but I tend to accumulate photos quite easily because I screenshot things a lot. I used to be a lot worse with screenshotting than I am these days, but I used to have literally thousands of screenshots on my phone. I tend to keep a lot of photos of celebrities I like, or like memes and such, that I never end up sorting through my pictures to search for to use, so they just kind of sit there. And I have a lot of like Animal Crossing related pictures that I think I just need to delete. And, you know, when I see somebody's like town, when I watch their playthroughs and it's like there's things about them that inspire me, I take screenshots, but then I don't end up actually terraforming my town or doing like any of that, so I don't have time, and then those photos just sit on my phone for forever, taking up space. Once I finished going through my photos and that was completely done, I then moved on to my apps. I tend to delete them throughout the year when I realize I don't use them, so I didn't have too much to delete this time. Before, you had to delete apps. It's like either you used apps or you didn't use them, and either you deleted them or you had them. But now there's that fancy little in-between feature where you can just offload an app, and it does take up a little bit less space. I've definitely been toying with the idea of lessening the amount of social media I'm on, but as an artist and as a content creator, it's like such a big part of my job. I don't know if it's really a job so much right now because I'm not getting paid, at least for YouTube, but it's so much a part of what I'm trying to create that I can't necessarily do that, but I can limit the amount that I'm on, so I offload from time to time, usually like a week or a couple of days at a time. I'm also going to be going through my followers and my friends lists and doing the same thing. So while I'm on these apps cleaning up my I keep on going to say followers. While I'm on these apps cleaning up my friends and following lists, I'm also going to be cleaning up my saved lists as well. So my saved posts, my saved videos, my liked videos on TikTok, my saved YouTube playlists. I'm going to be going through and cleaning these up and just kind of reorganizing them a little bit. I did this a couple years ago when I had literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, like tens of thousands, I'm not even kidding, years worth of saved shit on Facebook and Instagram especially, but also on YouTube, and it was a huge relief. And if I remember correctly, it did make quite the dent in the amount of space that these apps were taking up. So I'm going to be doing that again, just kind of clearing through it, asking myself, am I really going to make this recipe? Because I'm not going to. I never do. I'm also going to be cleaning up my notes app and going through my mail as well and cleaning that up, and not just deleting stuff, but also sorting more important emails into their proper respective folders. Finally, I'm going to be updating my passwords. I do this pretty much every year, but I try not to update it too much because then I run out of password ideas. So basically, I'm going to be doing the same thing on this phone, going through the apps and deleting anything that definitely isn't needed, deleting phones like reference images that I no longer need, deleting notes that I no longer need, that kind of thing. There really isn't a lot on this one because it's not really in use for much. And then I'll probably be swapping out my home and lock screens, because this one, I mean, I love this one of Jump, but I think it's time to change it up to something else. I've also already changed my home screen and my lock screen on my regular phone as well. It now features the promo images for Irie's third album, which I'm really excited for. It actually already shipped today, so I'm excited to get that. I really love decorating my home screen. I love making it look nice. I love having it all matchy-matchy, and so it's something I look forward to every month. I change it out. This month, the theme is green. I chose the apps to be like the same green as her sweater. A lot of these app icons I like drew myself on my phone, which took a long time, but it was worth it because it looks really cute. I did change out the desktop picture and the colors, the accent colors, to match my phone. So now they match, and that's really cute. I love that. Okay, so today we're tackling my Switch and my electronics drawer. Starting with the Switch, I just simply went through and just deleted a lot of pictures that I had, and the ones that I would like to use for fan art, because I've been really inspired by Animal Crossing and I keep taking screenshots and meaning to make them into fan art, but I just keep not doing it. So that's a goal for this year, to definitely start dabbling in fan art, because that's something I've never really done. So I've taken those photos and I'm transferring them to my phone. Then they're getting transferred to my other phone, where I'm then going to be using them as reference images. Now that my Switch is taken care of, we're going to be going over to my electronics drawer and tackling that a second time. So basically, the last time that I had gone through it, I had a lot of things in there that I wasn't quite sure what they were, or what they were for, or what they had on them. I had so many USBs, and so I decided that I would set those aside for now, just keep everything organized so that they're easier to find later, and then eventually go through and properly see what I can get rid of and what I'm going to keep, and then just have things a little more organized. I also kept a lot of like those little what do you call those? The little things, the little earbuds that come with your earphones. Like when you buy earphones and they give you all those extra ones in different sizes. I have so many of those, and I just keep saving them, and I don't really need them. So I'm also going to be finally just throwing those out. I've been trying to swap a lot of things out with more eco-friendly versions, and being more cautious about the amount of plastics that I'm using and the amount of sort of non-recyclable products that I'm using. I was thinking about it the other day, that there's no like alternative for electronics really, or like the things that come with electronics, like earphones. You know, you need those little cushy little pad things in your ears, or else you can't use them, but there's no like eco-friendly alternative to those. They're all plastic. When you have issues with your earphones, it's usually that they've stopped working. Not so much that you are missing or need extra of those. So it's kind of like I end up just throwing out my earphones because they break or they stop working, and then I've got all of these extra little earbud bits that I forget that I've got. I just wish there was a way I could opt out of having them. But it seems like every pair of earphones comes with at least 3 pairs of them, and that kind of gets really annoying really quick, because I don't need those. I need the earphones. I'm going to be going through the all of my USBs. Eject. So this is my Japan trip. What is this one? Okay. Awesome sauce. So that's what those are. So that's Japan. I do want to use these eventually, so I think I'll... Oh, and I have another one here. Another USB. What is this? So I'm taking these USBs, and as I'm going through them, I'm then making notes as to what's on each of them and putting them in little baggies with those notes so that I don't forget. This is a great use of those little baggies that I've accumulated over the last little while. What are these? I think this was the cord for my camera that went missing that we never did find. I don't know for sure. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Because it was for a camera or something. So I don't really want to throw it away just in case I'm wrong though. And if by the time I move to Japan I still don't know what these are for, I'll just throw them out. For those interested in numbers, here's a breakdown of some of the basics. I lost a lot of my notes and screenshots over the last few weeks, so these are estimated numbers but are pretty close to accurate. For my laptop, I had 52.4 gigabytes free out of 286 gigabytes total. By the time I finished everything, I had a little over 100 gigabytes free, deleting around 47.6 gigs. For my editing hard drive, it sat at 45.8 gigabytes free of 931 total when I started, and at the end it was 4.07 gigabytes. This is because although I deleted around 41 gigabytes of footage I no longer needed, I also added on 82 gigabytes of footage that had to be stored on my laptop as my hard drive had been a bit too full at the time and I couldn't fit everything. A relief for my laptop, but a bit of a burden for my external hard drive. As for my phone, at the time of starting it had around 60.4 gigabytes used out of 128 total. The only numbers I bothered to record was the photos, which I dropped down from 26.33 gigs to 8.06. Not bad. I managed to get it under 40 gigabytes used by the time I was done. And finally, for my iPhone 7, I started at around 22.93 gigabytes used, and I finished at around 18.72. So I deleted around 4 gigabytes of content off of that. So that brings us to the end of this little reset video series. New Year's reset series kind of, but it's not really so much New Year's anymore. This project took me a whole month to do, starting from January 1st up until today, February 3rd. It would have been done a lot sooner if I hadn't procrastinated the digital cleaning stuff. Like, at least when I'm cleaning my room and I'm cleaning like my physical space, I'm moving and I'm doing things. But it's like when you're like having to go through your photos and your videos and such, it's just, you're just sitting there just like swiping through things and deleting stuff, and it's very time consuming. You almost feel like you've done a lot, but you don't feel like you've done anything at all because you're just sitting there. It was just so overwhelming that I just didn't really want to do it, but I got it done, even though it wasn't exactly within the New Year's, the few weeks that are considered the new year. My physical space and my digital space are both feeling a little less cluttered and more organized, and that feels really great. And I'm gonna try to keep up with that throughout the year as I usually do. So now that all the big stuff has been done, it's gonna make it a lot easier to keep up with it moving forward. I know I watch reset videos and organizational videos and such throughout the year, and I'm sure plenty of other people do too. It's not just a New Year's thing. So I think if even just one person watches this and they enjoy it and they're motivated by it, then that's what matters. This isn't typically the kind of content I make, I would say. I mostly do art and craft sort of videos, and I do a lot of vlogs of my day-to-day life as an artist in rural Canada. I'm also doing my 52-week activity challenge series where I pick one thing a week and I do it out of a list of, I think right now it's 52 actually. And that's something that I'm kind of restarting. It's a whole thing. I'll get to that, but I do a lot of different kinds of content, but it's mostly vlog related and art related at the moment. I'll also be doing more study related videos as I pick up my Japanese studies again. So if that sounds good to you, if you like that kind of thing, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my future videos.